back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well out there. And today we're going to head back to the Howling franchise once again. But before we do that, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe, please. I greatly appreciate that. Also, as always, a shameless plug for my TeePublic page. I'll leave a link in the description box below if you're interested. And today we are on to Howling 5, The Rebirth. Now, this one I have seen quite a bit over the years. It's been a little bit since I've rewatched it. I just rewatched it on Tubi last night. But this one used to be on Sci-Fi all the time. Whenever they would play Howling movies, they always played this one. I remember catching it on TV several times over the years. And I remember renting it from Broad Street Video a couple times as well. This one came out in February 22nd of 1990, although there is an 89 date. I'm not sure. This went direct to video. Also had a budget of $2 million, and this was directed by Neil Sundstrom. He was brand new to the franchise, but Clive Turner wrote and produced this film, so he had been involved really since the beginning. But after the first film, he had a lot more control over the films, and he was involved in this one as well, heavily involved. Now, this one they shot in Budapest, Hungary, and this one, I gotta be honest, this one's actually a little more interesting. Because by this point, you know, the part 4, they tried to go back to the original novel, source novel. Unfortunately, they didn't have the money, nor, I don't know what happened with that film because it's very faithful to the book, but there's pacing issues, the effects look like garbage, and you could tell they didn't have a whole lot of money on that film, and they didn't shoot with any audio. We went over that in that review. So I don't know what happened to that one. Obviously not enough money. This one had the same budget as the previous sequels, $2 million. So I think they did something smart with this one. They basically put it in one location, in this castle. You see a hotel and in this bus going to the castle, but pretty much this takes place 90% in this castle. And it's all these people that were invited there by this count to explore the castle. It had been closed up for 500 years. And we get like a prologue in the beginning showing some of the history of the castle. But nobody had stepped foot inside for 500 years. So they were invited to come, and this count's there with like a butler and a maid to take care of them. And they get stuck there because of a blizzard that came in. And they're exploring the castle, and one by one they're being picked off. And considering this is called a Howling movie, we know it's a werewolf. So I think the smart thing, what they did here that was smart, not that this is a great film, but I think what sets this one apart, and really this could have been, it didn't have to be called The Howling. Obviously they call it The Howling because of name recognition. And so it would get people to rent the video once they hit the video market. But really, this movie didn't have to do anything with the Howling franchise, honestly. It's not connected to the other ones really at all. And basically, this is a whodunit. It's a whodunit slasher film with a werewolf doing the slashing. That's the best way I could describe it. It's like 12 Little Indians, who is the werewolf? And I think they do a decent job hiding who it is. I mean, when I first saw this when I was younger, I didn't know who it was till the end. But, you know, watching it now, you could tell about halfway through the movie who it probably is. Although they try to throw red herrings at you. The count's the obvious one because he's acting creepy and a little bit aloof. But at the end of the day, you kind of know who it is by the end of the film. Some of the actors are recognizable. The one guy that's in here was in RoboCop. He was in Showgirls. He's been around for a while and been in different things. Not all the acting here is not bad overall. Now there is a few actors in this film that aren't great. The lady who plays Mary Lou, who's one of our co-leads here, and she's only ever done this film, and she makes an appearance in the next Howling, and I think the one after that. But her performance is not great, and the problem with that is, at the end of the film, she's the werewolf, but her performance is so not good that it would have helped if they would have had a better actress in that role. Let's just say that. But some of the other acting's not bad, and there's some recognizable character actors I've seen in other movies or other TV shows in this film. So they did a decent job of putting together this, you know, big group of actors to stick in this one location. And I think, you know, the other smart thing they do is, because obviously the werewolf effects, you only see the werewolf bits and pieces of it through most of the movie. There's only a couple shots where you get a clear look at it for maybe a second or two. The werewolf doesn't look great here. So they do a good job of keeping it in the shadows. You see maybe a hand or a foot. or a quick flash of fur, but you don't really see it really except for a couple shots, and it only holds on it for like a second or two. So you don't really get a great look at it. So they do hide the monster that if it was on screen for a clear shot, it wouldn't look convincing anyway. The shots you do get of it, it doesn't look the greatest, but with the quick cutting around it, it does its job because you're not really focused on all that much. The gore here, I mean, the aftermath, mostly it's just chewed out throats or slash throats with claws. That's pretty much the MO of the werewolf. So, you know, there's some aftermath carnage here. You don't really see the act of it. It's more the aftermath when they find the bodies. I think this was the smart way to go. Again, this could have been anything. This didn't need to be a Howling movie, but that's what they decided to make it. And I think this was a smart way to go. Put everybody in one location for most of the film, make it a whodunit, and gives the series a little different flavor. In this one, it gives us a little something different. And I've always, you know, enjoyed this one. You know, it's not a great movie again, but I think this is much more enjoyable compared to part 2 or even the last one. Even though the last one's very much faithful to the original novel, there was a lot of shortcomings with that movie. This one's a lot more enjoyable. Downside again, Mary Lou, who's one of the main characters, the actress is not that good. I mean, she's on screen or given lines, she's just not as good as everybody else here. So she kind of sinks that role, and she ends up being the werewolf at the end. And I like kind of the freeze frame on her. She kind of gives a smile to the camera. That's cool. But they really do go for the gothic slasher whodunit vibe set in a castle in Hungary. And I think that was a cool way to go, something different. So a little creativity here, I'll give them that. Again, not a perfect movie. It's okayly directed. It's competently directed. Some of the snowstorm effects don't look the greatest. Kind of looks laughable. But overall, this is an enjoyable, you know, it's an hour and 37 minutes long, so it doesn't overwhelm its stay. And this one moves better because of the whodunit aspect, and they're exploring this castle. So it doesn't plod along. It's pretty tightly paced for what they're going for here. Again, still, I'm going to say at the end of the day, the effects don't look the greatest, and it's not the best movie ever. So I'm not trying to oversell it. This is a middle-of-the-road movie overall, but considering the franchise we're talking about, this is, to me, anyway, in my opinion, one of the better sequels. So at the end of the day, I would give Howling 5, The Rebirth, a 5.5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10 for Howling 5, The Rebirth. If you've ever seen this one, leave a comment down below, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share this video. I greatly would appreciate that. That's it for this one. I'll be back soon with another review, but until next time, bye.